Now we're doing some interviews.
Yeah, interviews.
That's right. My local game convention, KublaCon, has noticed my little channel and has asked me to do promotional videos. So let's get right into it with an interview with a master-level artist, David Powell. A few words from his #1 student.
Now we're doing some interviews.
Yeah, interviews. What do you like about painting models?
I like that I paint them, and like they come out good for after I paint them.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you like going to shows for models?
Yes.
Excited for KublaCon? Take your models there?
Yes.
What are you going to do? Get to enter your figures?
Yes.
Yeah? Take some classes?
Yes. I'm going to take your class.
Take my class. Oh, thank you.
I want to.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you
That
there.
might be cool if I take a class with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, my. I'm looking forward to it. All right. You want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
I am really happy and pleased to introduce my 5th interview guest, David Powell. David, we've just first met, but of course I Googled your work, and again, I'm just blown away by the incredible art I've been exposed to since I've launched the channel. I see that you're a family man, and we need some updates there. Yeah. And apparently, you have kids that were at the crayons and Play-Doh stage. Have they? Do you have an update for us there?
Yeah, my oldest is 6, and she's very much looking forward to entering KublaCon. She's been asking about the painting and entering shows. I got her into a local IPMS show here just this past year, and she put a few models in, and she had a lot of fun with it. So
that's huge.
Getting her into the hobby early.
You know, I mentioned that for a couple of reasons. You know, KublaCon is such a big family event, really family friendly event. Parents, you can bring your kids. There's an area where you can sign for them, and they will be watched and contained and entertained with games, and you can go about and do your thing. It's a great way to enjoy the weekend with your kids that share the same hobby you do. For that brief time that your kids share the same hobby you do, you want to take advantage of it at KublaCon. So, David, and another reason I bring that up is that you're a 2nd-generation painter, so your kids are going to be 3rd-generation painters.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about how your parents got you into painting.
Yeah, so my dad was a painter. He's a history buff, actually a history teacher is his job. So he came into it a little differently than I think a lot of probably your viewers do, and I did in some respects, but more from the historical side. And he loved painting American Civil War figures and things like that. So kind of introduced me to the concept of figure painting. But he knew that my interest may be a little bit different. And I remember I was pretty young, and he showed up from a garage sale that he went to, and basically had a big box of all those old like Raoul Partha D&D miniatures.
If I see miniatures at a garage sale, I'm just scooping them up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I had a blast, and that just kind of got me hooked, and I kind of painted off and on for a while, and then discovered Warhammer and got more into it, and just kind of went from there.
Awesome. Yeah, that has a lot of the same notes of the tones I've been hearing from the previous guests. So you were introduced to painting early, and you painted through elementary school off and on, and at some point you diverged from painting for games, painting for pieces that would be used in a game, to basically purely display artistic pieces. I just want to get a little bit more of a feel of that split from game pieces, because all the pieces I painted are for games. They have a dashboard, they have stats, they have powers. So this is sort of out of my zone, painting purely for the artistic expression. Expand on that for us, please.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started with gaming. I remember getting into Warhammer Fantasy Battle back when it was Warhammer Fantasy Battle and not Age of Sigmar, and then into 40K. But I always just kind of, the most fun I had was always just in painting the models. I play a little bit off and on, but I just kind of like, this looks like a really cool character. I want to paint that. And this looks really cool. I didn't worry about necessarily collecting the whole army. I might do a unit here or a small little force here or something like that. And then, I remember doing some Privateer Press, some of their War Machine stuff, and just kind of anything that looked cool. I just wanted to paint. There's lots of cool stuff like that. And then it was, probably around like 2010 is when I kind of got kind of into larger scale figures. And I think the historical side of the hobby, and obviously there's historical war games too, but there's been kind of for a long time a lot of historical manufacturers that made those larger scale 54, 75 millimeter and busts. And so that always kind of been around. But I definitely think the fantasy side, those larger scale fantasy display figures are definitely newer and have come on the scene more recently. And just, the gaming side is always going to be huge and it drives the hobby and it's fantastic. But there are people like me, you're going to find, weird kooks like me who are like, you know what, I just like painting. I'm like, that's the most fun. It's just doing the painting stuff, and playing's neat, but I just want to paint more. And just the amount of space you had to kind of, trying to do eyes on a 28. I know you were aware, and many of your viewers are aware just how hard that is. And all of a sudden your eye is, huge by comparison, and being able to really get into the details was a lot of fun.
And I'm actually looking forward to it. I've never done one before. And another thing I was excited about when I Googled your info was that you're in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And most of my other guests have agreed to future collaborations. So can I count on you, sir, to collaborate with me, and maybe you can teach me something?
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That'd be
definitely
great.
go for it.
We'll figure out a bust we can paint, and hopefully something we can mostly finish in one session, and that would be huge. I think our viewers would like that. See if this old dog can be taught some new tricks by David Powell here. I'm really looking forward to that, and also I'm looking forward to KublaCon. So KublaCon, local gaming conventions, coming up at the end of May, and David, you're an instructor there now. So David, I'm really curious about the class you're going to be teaching. I think maybe even more than one class. Give us a quick rundown of your classes, and then I'm going to try to get inside your head and figure out how you are going to teach us anything about your wonderful craftsmanship. Please give us a rundown.
No problem. Yeah, I'm teaching 3 different classes. 2 are really geared towards more beginner painters and intermediate painters, and they also will find stuff useful there. And so it's going to be a face painting class, how to paint faces, realistic faces and skin, and then an introduction to freehand designs. And that's a topic that I know it can seem very intimidating at first, but I really should give you a lot of tools, a lot of little tips and tricks that can make it a lot easier. Just to find a way to spruce up your figures, and whether you want a little shield that looks pretty cool or a banner or something, kind of stand out among the rest of your army. So I'll give you some good tips for that. And again, those are really meant for beginner as well as intermediate paint. Things like some glazing for color variation, stuff that you can, even if you're painting a whole army, you can kind of assembly line process this.
Yes.
To step up your faces beyond kind of what you were already getting. So, I definitely keep in mind, while some people may want to do all out and spend, 60, 80 hours on a single figure, most people probably not. And so I try and make sure that my classes are geared with that in mind, and sort of try and give you some tips and tricks that really can use during your regular painting process.
60 to 80 hours, my friend. Is that what we're looking at to paint a truly wonderful piece that you can bring and win prizes with? I'm showing right now in the background your stack of trophies, my friend. Give me a break. Let's look at this stack of trophies. Is that what we're looking at, sir? Is it 60 to 80 hours to do an award-winning piece like that?
It varies, and the other thing about KublaCon is it has different levels. So, if you're competing at the master level, you're probably going to be spending a minimum of 40 hours on a figure. Wow. Depending on how complicated it could be 100 hours or more. I know people in Golden Demon are spending 200 hours on projects sometimes. Yes. But there's also the journeyman level at KublaCon, and so kind of wherever you are, there's a way to get involved, the way to kind of take part in it and to still get feedback and just compete at your level and not necessarily feel like, oh, I got to spend 80 hours or it's not worth it. No. Like just, maybe not under masters, but,
I want to expand on that point. One of the fun thing about KublaCon painting competitions is that you don't walk away with nothing. You're going to get a rundown, a good review, some coaching from really experienced good painters like David, and you'll get a score that you can take with you and improve upon on your next visit. So everyone who shows up is either going to get a bronze, a silver, or a gold. And if you get a gold, then maybe you're looking at going to the next level. So that's one thing that really attracted me to the system was, you're going to come away with something, and something good information at the very least. So Definitely
it's
worth
the
your
open,
time.
it's the open system of judging, and it's a much more, I don't say friendly or just sort of inclusive way to do a competition. That's kind of how some of the early ones I did. Is it helps you sort of see how you're doing, because you can get, you go 1 year and you get a bronze. Okay, well next year I want to try and get a silver, because it's not a podium style where there's only one bronze, one silver, one gold, and you may get a gold 1 year and then nothing the next, just because 3 better people showed up, and that's it. But this is a much more inclusive, and you kind of can really see your growth from year after year as you move up, and maybe get from beginner to journeyman to masters eventually, just if you keep pushing and just
and there's all levels. There's a kids division too, so great family
my
event.
daughter's looking forward to that, so.
That's going to be huge, and we're going to get an update too on the convention coverage episode we'll do. Right, David, there's another class that you're teaching. Go ahead and give us a rundown on that one.
Yeah, so my third class is going to be geared, probably a little bit more towards intermediate to beginner advanced painters, but it's going to be on painting a large scale figure. So a lot of the stuff that I do more frequently. We've got a bunch of these kits from Big Child Creative. So it's one of their orc figures. I've got one here that I'm painting already. I don't know. I'll send some real pictures of it, but
we'll have the images, the high res images in the background. Yeah.
But you can see, it's not huge. I've got a Space Marine here next to it, and it's about twice the size of a Space Marine. So it's hopefully for people it's not going to be that big a stretch to get into it, but it still gives you a different experience. And that's going to be a longer class, and you get the figure kit, and we'll go through a bunch of different topics from skin to leathers and cloth and kind of whatever we can cover in the time.
And I can echo the appreciation for Big Child Creatives. All the guests I've had on the interview, they all go there at one point or another. So once you're getting to your artistic expression beyond a gaming piece, and you want something purely for display and art, you're probably going to go to Big Child Creatives at some point.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Great stuff. You mentioned you also teach classes outside of KublaCon. I'm really unfamiliar with anything about that. Tell us from the beginning, what are your classes outside KublaCon?
Right. So later this year, at the end of August, beginning of September, there's going to be a show in DC, Nova Open, another fantastic show, lots of gaming and painting competitions and lots more classes. So if your audience is not in the Bay Area, maybe a little bit more on the East Coast, please stop by Nova Open. I'll be doing the same classes at Kubla, then I'll also be teaching those later in the year at Nova Open. So you'll have another chance to come take those with me if you're
terrific. So, David, thanks so much for the info on the Nova Open. That sounds like a fantastic show. Looking forward to getting more images of that and letting our viewers know a little bit more about that show. That's fascinating. That's about all the time we have left, my friend. I want you now to leave us with some inspirational ideas. Tell us a little bit about how you inspire new painters to get into the hobby. Find stuff you like. There's so much stuff out there. So many different kinds of figures and games and things like that. Just kind of find that what inspires you, what you think is cool. And for new painters, a lot of it is just kind of just one step at a time. There's so much to learn. There's so many things you can get overwhelmed. And a lot of times when I'm painting a new figure, I'm going to pick one thing that I'm going to worry about and say, hey, on this figure, I want to make a really neat base, or I want to try and make the leather look more like actual leather than just a brown thing. But don't, and say, okay, I'm going to do that. And if that's successful, I don't care if the eyes are goofy or everything else is not, just pick one thing to improve. And over time you'll find that you slowly build your toolbox, your skill set, and you'll get there. You get all this stuff eventually. Just kind of take one step at a time and don't let yourself get overwhelmed, and just have fun. Thanks so much for your time, David. I really appreciate you visiting us. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
And looking so much forward to meeting you at KublaCon and having fun there. It's going to be a great event.
Looking forward to it too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Oh my, I'm looking forward to it. All right, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.